Welcome, Dr. Morse, Injury Experts. So, we just heard news that Derek Carr, the current quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, is dealing with a potentially significant shoulder injury. Now, I'm assuming it's his right throwing shoulder, although we don't know that specifically. And Ian Rappaport specifically stated that this is an injury that is so significant that not only does it threaten the start of the 2025 season, but they're trying to decide whether or not this is going to require surgery. Now, there's not too many things that are going to make that much of an impact in the throwing shoulder, especially one that happens in mid-April and that is going to impact the 2025 season. With that being said, my most likely diagnosis is going to be a torn labrum in the throwing shoulder. Now, the labrum is basically a thick ligament that holds the ball in the socket. The problem with the labrum is that it tears and that it does not do well without being stable, because if you think of the shoulder as a ball and socket joint, as that labrum starts to tear, it becomes more unstable. Traditionally, this happens by falling and tearing that labrum or dislocating your shoulder. You can have them slowly that progress, but eventually to the point where it's so unstable that the shoulder is no longer able to perform its duties, especially when you're asking someone to throw the ball 30, 40, 50 yards at high velocity with good touch and be able to repeat that over and over and over again. Now, he ended the season with a combination of a left hand fracture that reportedly did not require surgery, as well as a concussion. His injury history is extensive, dating back to 2014. So this isn't exactly mild. This isn't exactly a guy who's always healthy. Now the question becomes, first off, how do they not keep this under wraps? Secondly, do they consider doing surgery to repair this labrum, which would be about a 6-ish month journey at the minimum, which would impact probably not only August, but also September and some, if not all of October? And how do they approach this? Obviously, there are other two quarterbacks that are on the roster where it's subpar last year. So is this something they consider? Shadur Sanders, they're currently, I believe, at the 9th spot in the first round. Do they need to now jump up to maybe consider maybe near where the Patriots are, or maybe even a little bit higher to secure Sanders? Are they even high on Sanders? We're assuming Cam Ward is going at 1. Is there another quarterback considering that they would consider going that high, that they would consider drafting maybe a Jackson Dart or the kid from Alabama? I don't think so, but interesting. Is this something that may consider? Hey, Aaron Rodgers, is he an option? They paid Carr a lot of money, so is that something they can financially do? So a lot more questions. I find the timing of this very unique. Why do they figure out something in April when we probably would have known this in September, October, or at the minimum by January, February? Did he suffer a re-injury or a worsening injury recently that exacerbated this? Why do we just randomly hear about this? So in general, here's how I think this is going to play out. I think, yes, he's going to have surgery probably to repair his labrum. That is going to keep him out at least the first quarter to half of the season, and they're probably either going to sign a free agent or consider drafting a top 2 or 3 quarterback, depending on who they like. We will have more information as it comes out, but that's my initial thoughts here with the Injury Experts. Thank you very much.